You know that feeling, right? You need to get up to speed on something, maybe something important, but you're just faced with this mountain of info.
Yeah, totally. Information overload.
Exactly. Well, consider this your shortcut. Today on the deep dive, we're honing in on a piece of tech that's making some noise.
Which one is it today?
The Ulefone Armor 28 Pro 5G. It's one of those rugged smartphones. We've looked at a few things. An article from Next Gen Nest, a video from Hariz Krauss showing features,
Oh, yes, all
a
that.
quick mention in a Banggood video, and, the full product page from Banggood as well.
Gotcha. So the goal here is really to unpack what this phone offers, right? Especially for anyone who needs a device that's, well,
Tough,
off.
but also smart. Something that keeps up with today's demands but won't, break if you look
Well,
at it funny.
Precisely. A blend of durability and modern tech.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Performance. That's always a big one. It's running a MediaTek Dimensity 7300 processor.
Hmm.
Now, for those of us who don't, memorize chip names, what does that actually mean in the real world?
Okay, so think of the processor as the phone's brain, or maybe its engine. A stronger engine means it handles tasks, even tough ones, without lagging or stuttering.
So, smoother operation.
Exactly. Like, say you're on a job site, you need maps, you're messaging the team, taking photos.
Yeah.
This chip should let you do all that at once without the phone freezing up. It just keeps things flowing.
Right, avoids that frustration. And it sounds like storage won't be a headache either. 32 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal storage.
Yeah, those numbers are pretty massive for a phone.
That's huge, a digital walk-in closet.
Ah, yeah, good analogy.
Yeah.
That 32 GB of RAM, it lets the phone juggle a lot of apps simultaneously without slowing down. So navigation, music, messages, maybe work app.
All running smoothly in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the 512 GB storage. Well, if you shoot a lot of high-res video or photos, especially out on adventures or for work documentation, you probably won't have to worry about clearing space constantly.
For a long time, I bet.
For a good while, yeah.
I also saw something about how the RAM is set up. 16 GB physical, but then another 16 GB virtual.
Yes, virtual RAM.
How does that actually work? Is it really the same?
It's a clever trick, basically. The phone can borrow a chunk of that fast internal storage, the 512 GB, and use it as temporary overflow RAM when the physical RAM gets full.
Ah, okay, like a temporary boost.
Sort of, yeah. Think of it as expanding the phone's short-term memory on the fly. So if you're really pushing it hard with tons of apps, it taps into that virtual space to keep things smooth.
Does it make a big difference?
It can help, especially under heavy load. Plus, the type of RAM, LPDDR5, and the storage type, UFS 3.1, are both pretty fast, which helps everything feel responsive.
And if 512 GB somehow isn't enough?
Which seems unlikely for most people, but
Yeah.
There's also a slot for micro SD card. You can add up to another 2 terabytes.
2 terabytes. Okay, storage is definitely not an issue here. So it's fast, loads of space. What about the display? What are we looking at? Sounds like a dual screen setup.
That's right. The main one is a 6.67-inch AMOLED screen, full HD plus resolution.
And AMOLED usually means good colors, right? Vibrant.
Exactly. Deep blacks, really punchy colors, makes photos and videos look great. And the FHD plus resolution keeps text and images sharp. Maps, documents, whatever. It'll look clear.
It also mentioned 120 hertz refresh rate. That's becoming more common, but still good to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. And make everything feel smoother. Scrolling, animations, just more fluid and, well, nicer to look at compared to a standard 60 hertz screen.
And then there's that little second screen, a 1.04-inch AMOLED subdisplay. Seems kind of quirky.
It's a bit unusual, but it has a specific purpose. It's an always-on display.
Ah, so for quick glances.
Precisely. You're out somewhere, maybe your hands are dirty, you just want to see the time, or check notifications without waking up the whole main screen.
Saves battery, too, I guess.
That's the idea, yeah. Saves a bit of power. And brightness seems good on both. The main one can get really bright, like 2200 nits peak.
Yeah, that sounds very bright. Good for sunlight.
Should be, yeah. Makes it easier to see outdoors. Even the little sub-display gets reasonably bright.
Okay, makes sense. Now, the main selling point of these phones, the ruggedness. It's got IP68 and IP69K ratings. Can you break those down? What does that mean practically?
Sure. Think of those as seals of approval for toughness against water and dust. IP68 basically means it can handle being submerged. The specs say up to 2 meters of water for 30 minutes.
So dropping it in a puddle or getting caught in rain is fine.
Absolutely. Accidents happen, right?
Yeah.
This gives you peace of mind. The IP69K goes further. It means it can resist high-pressure, high-temperature water jets.
Like if you needed to actually wash the phone off, muddy site or something.
Exactly that scenario. Plus, it mentions MIL STD 810H certification.
Which means,
That's a military standard.
yeah.
It means the phone's been tested against drops, shocks, extreme temperatures, vibrations.
Yep.
Basically, it's designed to survive rough handling and harsh environments. It's built to take a beating.
Okay, that definitely sounds robust. Huge plus for certain jobs or, clumsy people like me.
Yeah. Or just adventurous types.
And connectivity, it's got Wi-Fi 6E, that's the latest, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Wi-Fi 6E is great because it uses an extra frequency band, the 6 gigahertz band.
Less crowded.
Exactly. So, especially in busy places with lots of Wi-Fi signals, it can mean faster speeds and a more stable connection. Think airports, coffee shops.
Okay, nice. And NFC is there too, for payments and stuff?
Yep, NFC for contactless payments, pairing devices easily. Standard stuff these days, but good to have. And Bluetooth 5.4 for reliable connections to headphones, speakers, whatever.
Cool. All right, let's shift gears to the cameras. Looks like they didn't skimp here either. Triple camera system, 50MP main camera with a big sensor.
Yeah, that's a key feature. It uses a Sony IMX989 sensor, which is a 1-inch type sensor.
That is big for a phone. Usually see those in dedicated cameras.
Right. A bigger sensor physically captures more light. More light generally means better photos, more detail, better colors, less noise, especially when the light isn't great.
Makes sense, like a bigger net catching more fish.
Good way to put it. And it's paired with a 64MP night vision camera.
Whoa, okay, a dedicated night vision camera, that's wild.
It really is. Not common at all. This uses an OV64B sensor and a wide aperture, f1.79, specifically designed to see in extreme darkness, way beyond what a typical night mode can do.
So like pitch black?
Pretty much. Think camping, maybe some specific types of work, navigating in the dark. It should provide surprisingly clear, usable images, even with very little ambient light.
That's a serious feature. And there's an ultra-wide, too.
Yep, a 50MP ultra-wide, good for landscapes, big group shots fitting more into the frame.
Yeah.
And the software seems packed too. HDR, AI stuff, Pro Mode, Panorama.
All usual suspects, plus some extras. Video capabilities.
Looks solid. 4K video recording at 30 frames per second. Plus lower resolutions at higher frame rates if you need slow motion.
And the front camera selfie's got to look good, too.
It seems capable. Another 50MP sensor, a JN1 this time. Should take detailed selfies, and it has most of the same software features as the rear cameras. Video up to 1080p on the front.
Okay, decent camera package then, especially with that night vision twist. Now, all this tech needs power. And the battery sounds insane. 10,600 milliamp.
Yeah, that's huge. Double what you find in many standard flagship phones.
That's got to last for ages, right?
For someone who's maybe off-grid, camping, working long shifts away from a charger, this is a massive selling point. Depending on how you use it, yeah, you could easily be looking at multiple days per charge.
Seriously impressive. But when it does finally die, charging that huge battery must take forever.
But that's the other part. It supports 120-watt wired charging.
120 watts, that's incredibly fast.
Extremely fast. It should juice up that massive battery relatively quickly. They also included 50-watt wireless charging, which is also quite fast for wireless.
And reverse charging, too.
Yep, both wired and wireless reverse charging. So you can use the phone like a power bank to top up your earbuds or maybe another phone in a pinch.
Handy. Okay, so beyond the big specs, performance, camera, battery, what else? Lots of sensors listed.
Yeah, the usual suspects are their proximity light, accelerometer, gyro, compass, plus things like an air pressure sensor, which can be useful for altitude, and an infrared sensor. Fingerprint sensor, and face unlock, too.
Built-in FM radio without needing headphones. That's a nice little throwback.
It is. Simple but useful sometimes. There's also a customizable notification light. Red, green, blue. Shows charging status or alerts.
And this USmart Expansion Connector 2.0, what's that about?
That's interesting. It's a proprietary connector Ulefone uses. It lets you attach specific accessories. They make things like endoscopes, maybe thermal cameras, specialized tools.
So for professional use cases, potentially.
Primarily, yeah. Or very specific hobbies. The cool thing is you can use those accessories while still charging the phone via the regular USB-C port.
Okay. Now, practicality. This thing sounds like a beast. Dimensions and weight, it's got to be chunky.
Oh, it definitely is. You don't get a 10,600 mAh battery and military-grade ruggedness in a slim package. It's about 174 millimeters tall, 84 millimeters wide, nearly 20 millimeters thick.
Very thick.
Yeah, and it weighs 450 grams.
Wow, okay. That's almost half a kilo. You'll definitely know it's in your pocket.
No doubt. It's substantial. But that's the trade-off for the durability and battery life.
Fair enough. Good to know it runs Android 14 with an update to 15 planned, so the software's current.
Yep, keeping it up to date is important.
Dual SIM slots too, and you can still use a micro SD card.
Right, it looks like a triple slot, 2 nano SIMs and a TF card, micro SD. So you don't have to choose between dual SIM and extra storage.
Very flexible. Now, network compatibility. This seems crucial. Looks like some potential issues with North American carriers.
Yes, this is super important for anyone considering it, especially in the US or Canada.
Yeah.
While it supports a wide range of 4G and 5G bands globally,
You got to check carefully.
absolutely, the sources specifically mention potential limitations with AT&T, Cricket, Sprint, Verizon, Boost Mobile in the US, and Koodo, Telus, Fido in Canada. You really need to check the supported bands against your carrier's network before buying.
Okay, critical advice there. Navigation seems covered though, with GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, all the main systems.
Yep. Should provide reliable location tracking pretty much anywhere. It also has a decent speaker, supports underwater photography mode,
Taking photos underwater?
apparently, yeah, and a glove mode, so you can use the touchscreen even with gloves on. Again, features geared towards those tough conditions.
Right, makes sense for the target user. So, wrapping this up, the Ulefone Armor 28 Pro 5G, it's clearly not aiming for, like, sleek design awards.
Not at all. It's unapologetically rugged.
Instead, it's focusing squarely on delivering, well, serious performance with that Dimensity chip, huge amounts of RAM and storage.
Yeah, the specs are impressive there.
A versatile display system with that bright AMOLED and the handy sub-display, a surprisingly advanced camera setup, especially that night vision.
That's a real standout feature.
Absolutely massive battery life with crazy fast charging and just overall toughness designed to withstand, well, pretty much anything you throw at it.
That seems to be the core message, yeah. Based on everything we've looked at, it's built for people who operate in demanding environments. Construction, field work, extreme sports, maybe just really active outdoor enthusiasts.
People who need reliability and capability above all else.
Exactly. It brings serious smartphone power into a package that can handle the rough stuff.
So it makes you think, doesn't it? If you had a phone this capable and this durable, how might that actually change how you use a phone? What things that seem risky now might become possible?
Interesting question. What limitations just vanish when you're not constantly worried about breaking it or running out of battery? What new possibilities does that open up for you?